What's up? Welcome as you float in. Blessed morning. It is Sunday morning, and I am chilling right here in my home sanctuary. What's up, Lynn the Olina? Welcome, welcome. So, yeah, right before I came live, I just said a prayer that this is an intentional live, and I put out the call from my heart, and I just asked, this is what I ask every day, but how can I be the greatest blessing in this moment on this earth, in this day that I've been blessed with? And so before I hit the live, I just said, how can I be the greatest blessing? And in this moment, I invite folks who are magnetizing in and feel the frequency and feel the resonance and want to connect heart to heart, spirit to spirit, with no fucking bullshit. And just drop into a space together where we can be real. I have not done a live in a very long time and gone through some shit. And historically speaking, when I've been going through shit in the past, my coping strategy is often to shut down and isolate. It's old wounding stuff, and I'm really working on healing that core wound of affirming the illusion of disconnect by further isolating and disconnecting. I know that as mammals and as when we go into a healing space, sometimes we do need to isolate and hibernate and go into a cave. And so when it's nourishing for our wholeness and our wellness, that's one thing. But when we are looping and trapped and stuck in the illusion of disconnect and we isolate, that's another thing. And so I'm working really hard on discerning when I'm doing that from a place of wholeness or when I'm doing it from being trapped under the illusion of severe disconnect. Feel me? Let me go back. Some people are writing comments. Princess Emilia. Hello, I just started following you some days ago. For some reason, I felt compelled to watch more of you. You're the most inspiring human I've met in the last year. It's an honor to read that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for feeling the resonance. I truly believe that my life was spared for no fucking random reason. And I truly saw that when it came down to life and death, that I only wanted to devote the rest of my life to be in service to the spirit of love. So I'm thinking, Princess, that you resonated with that. And more and more I'm working on healing the wounds of the ego, and not having an underinflated ego or an overinflated ego, but being in right relationship to it and really trying to figure out how to navigate. This is where I'm at in life, like how to navigate being human and showing up in service and being on purpose, fully maximized in this earth body, just to promote the energy of love. And while I do that, heal myself and the deep core wounds that are still freaking alive in me. So thank you for choosing to be here with me. It means a lot, probably more than you know. And I'm honored by your words. And we're doing the real work of awakening together. And that's the whole point of my Instagram, is like just to create a platform for transparency around the awakening process. And, you know, it's not a glamorous fucking process. It's intense. And, you know, awakening is all about activating the truth of who we truly are within these body temples and living from that place. And so, you know, this work is messy and nonlinear and chaotic a lot of times. A lot of times it doesn't make sense. And most human beings are not taught these tools in our families, as young people, in schools especially, right? Anyone who went through the public education system, like, probably didn't get the tools. Because we're taught to assimilate, we're taught to get in step with the status quo. We have conditioning and programming placed upon us for very specific reasons, and we are not cultivated and taught to be the wild animals that we are, and to be fully connected with the earth, and to be connected in community, and to be fully maximized in our soul purpose, in our bodies upon the planet. No, we are cultivated to be resources for the dominant system. And so they benefit and thrive off of our suffering, from our disconnect from our fucking soul and our true purpose. And most of us experience the pain and the suffering of knowing deep inside somewhere that we are an extraordinary being who is wearing the disguise of being an ordinary human in a society that tells us that we must assimilate and be mediocre and clock in and out just to make money, just to pay our bills, just to be on fucking survival mode. And like, don't you dare fucking dream. And don't you dare have the audacity to fucking chase your dreams. We are told that we are irresponsible, we are lazy, we are dreamers, we are delusional. If we have the audacity to feel our soul calling and feel into our hearts, and to be artists or healers or whatever we feel inclined and called to do, if it's not about amassing wealth and having a bunch of letters and degrees behind our names, you know, then we're real nobodies, right? We're real losers when we don't feel compelled to play the game. It's so frustrating, you know? And me as a single mom, and having been the sole breadwinner for so many years of my children's lives, I also didn't have, I did try to be an artist at certain bubbles of time, and, you know, like, being deep on survival, financial survival mode's intense, and it's stressful. There's a lot of chronic stress that comes with that, because when you want to be an artist in a world that doesn't value art beyond being entertainment, you know, like, it's hard. It's historically speaking, in my life, it has been hard to generate financial thriving and abundance doing the work that I know is needed on the planet. But it's like society reflects back to me that it's not value, because society equates value with monetary gain. I could go on a tangent on that, so let me read these comments. Thank you, Princess, for your words. What's up, Maya? See that you're in here. Feel free to write comments, you guys. I'm just in here on a free flow. Princess said, that's so brave. I know how scary and hard it can be. I love what you're doing, and that you are so honest and transparent to show what this path is like. Thank you for that. I mean, I have to say, to be totally honest, I spent most of my life hiding and disconnected from my true essence in a conscious way. I felt it inside of me. I mean, ever since I was a little kid, what made most sense to me was animals, dance, art, creative writing, nature, and connecting with kindred spirits. Nothing else ever really made sense. You know, I still don't really get this world. I don't get the constructs of the dominant system. They don't resonate with my soul. My soul, I believe, what resonates with me is the matriarchal times where we humans lived in community and where we were born into communities that invited us to be our unique expressions and emanations of our soul and to embody it every day. And that every soul in the community was a vital part and needed and necessary. You know, there was no need to monetize our gifts because there was nothing to buy or sell. It was exchange in community. And so what resonates with me is to show up in community and to be of value because I'm seen, I'm heard, and I'm understood. The same way I would do for the others in the community. And so like monetizing my work and marketing my work, honestly, that shit doesn't make sense to me. I'm still trying to figure out how to do that. In a perfect world, for what makes sense to my soul, I would show up and do the work for free every day. I would wake up with the sun, grateful to be alive like I do now, and get to work doing my soul purpose. It is confusing for people like me to figure out how to make it work in the patriarchal construct. So if you feel me, I would love if you put a comment in there if what I just said resonates with you. I know I'm not alone in this. Yesterday, I met with a couple sisters of mine. We were actually, thank you, Nicole, for saying that. Yesterday I had a freaking dope-ass meeting at the beach, at one of my favorite beaches in San Diego, with two sisters. We are co-facilitating a workshop next weekend called Dancing the Deconstruction, and we were basically creating the structure for this 3-hour community workshop experience ritual. And it's all about, this is like all what I want to do in the world is help people awaken to the truth of who we truly are in a world that wants us asleep and thrives off of us being asleep. So I am devoted for the rest of my days in whatever way that, you know, the Spirit of Love sees best fit, because I surrender my heart to the Spirit of Love. I create my ego in devoted, humble service to the Spirit of Love that animates this body temple. Boom. I only serve the Spirit of Love. And I'm humble where I will show up at any capacity to do that. That every day I just ask, show me, show me. In my meditations, I just ask, show me how I can be of best service today. How can I be an emanation of that in every moment? How can I keep my consciousness connected to the truth of who I truly am? And that's the work I do to help people in this awakening process, the art of awakening, because it is an art. It's an art to be alive. It's an art to be human. And so in this Dancing the Deconstruction, it's dope because deconstruction is a vital component for awakening. When we awaken, we realize, oh, I have been subscribing to, you know, and how perfectly human. There's compassion. There's no judgment in any of this. But we have spent a lifetime with the imprints, the programs, the conditioning, the constructs, the fucking expectations, the etiquettes, the indoctrination that we adopt as our truth. And, you know, in our innocence, we do that. Our innocent souls into the world, full trust and full dependency on the people who raise us. That includes, you know, the school system is raising us too. And so, in our innocence and in our purity, we are sponges and we receive all the imprints. And we take them on as truth in our innocence. And then we carry those into adulthood. And then when we start to have the awakening process, where the soul is like, yo, I'm here on a divine mission. I'm not just fucking randomly here being some mediocre human that clocks in and clocks out every day and pays my rent. I am more than that. When we start to have that realization, that's when the deconstruction comes in, because we have to come in now with skill and with compassion. We come in and we start to disentangle the truth of who we truly are from the conditioning and from the imprints. This is critical work for people who want to maximize their soul's experience in this body, this lifetime, as a human, on this planet, in this dimension. This is a key piece that we begin to disentangle ourselves from all the imprints that don't resonate with our truth. Some of the imprints resonate. Some of them make total sense with our soul. Some don't. You know, a lot of people wake up in their religious beliefs decades down the road and they're like, this doesn't even, wait, what do I believe? Or they find they have allegiance to a voting party where they're like, wait, what? I'm this voting party because that's what my parents and my grandparents were? Or people start to go, wait a second, I have these beliefs about another cultural group of people because I heard these things in my house as I was growing up and I just adopted it as true, and it's not. I mean, this is the awakening process. Or when it's like you're drinking a beer and you're like, wait, why am I pouring poison in my body? Or you're eating a processed meal and you're feeling sedated, and then you wake up feeling like shit the next day and you're like, wait, why do I eat that? It's because it's all that's been available to me. That's what I was raised on. You feel me? So this is the awakening process where we our consciousness starts to come online in our bodies, and we start to go, fuck, am I a regurgitation of what the world imprinted upon me that a human is? Or am I gonna do the hard ass work? Because it's hard, it's not easy. Awakening is not easy, and we are not taught the skills to do it with skill and with grace. Most of us are not, unless you're born into like some fucking tribe of people who's got their consciousness on blast and fully dialed in, and they're like living on the land, connected with the earth, living in community, divested from capitalism, and fucking eating real foods and drinking real waters. You know, that's the thing. It's like we live in a world where the food is weaponized. The air is weaponized. The waters are weaponized. If I want to go dip in the ocean, I have to wait many days until after the rain, because when I'm crazy. I go to the beach. I have to get in. It's like a magnet. And when I go after the rains, I go in because I'm just compelled. I get in and I see the shit that just came out of the drains right there. I'm swimming in it. And I'm like, So my soul came to this gorgeous goddess garden planet that humanity in the past, 5,000 years of patriarchy, but really, let's be honest, in the past 1 to 200 years, humanity has really fucked up the planet. Like, we've taken it full tilt, fucking full blast, shit show. And I'm a mom, and I believe I'm brothers and sisters with all of humanity, so not just the people who came out of my vagina, but I care about every fucking person on this planet, 7 billion people. And I care about every animal. And I care about all the plants. I care about the earth. And I get fucking enraged. I'm getting wound up right now. Because when I really go into it, like, I get enraged because I'm pissed that there is a dominant system that is set in place by, whatever force that is, that 99% of the humans suffer under it. 1% benefits. Think about that. Like, what the fuck? And I know my soul chose intentionally to manifest in my body in white skin within the belly of the beast, the United Corporations of America, a country that was founded upon enslaved people's free labor and genocide of indigenous First Peoples here. In the name of capitalism and democracy, the land of the free, home of the brave. My soul was like, I'm going to come to Earth in 1975 in white skin through settlers' lineage. I'm going to enter into the belly of the beast. I'm going to come at a time when technology is just going to go fucking full blast. I'm going to come at a time when the natural elements of the earth have been turned into weapons by the dominant system. And I'm going to experience the chaos of that. And I'm going to come in. I think my soul came in and was like, I'm going to fully commit to having an experience where I'm born into a family where I don't feel unconditionally loved and accepted and valued and seen and heard and understood and connected. And I'm going to come in and fully subscribe to lack of consciousness. I'm going to come in and I'm going to experience what poverty is like and what single motherhood is like, and I'm going to experience what heartbreak is like, and I'm going to experience what it's like to be a white person and have this privilege and have beloved friends that don't experience the white privilege. And I'm going to have the experience of being so disconnected from a spiritual path because that shit was forcibly removed from my blood lineage thousands of years ago. And so I'm going to have the experience of seeking refuge in cultures and in friends that have maintained lineage in the face of white oppression. And I'm going to have the experience of breast cancer, and I'm going to have the experience of the Western medical paradigm treating me. I'm going to have all these experiences. I'm going to have the experience of the dark fucking era of the soul. I do believe my soul signed up for this intentionally. It's not because God wants to punish me or torture me. It's not because I did something bad before and now I have to come pay the price. I believe that this planet is literally a training ground to allow our souls to play this game of hide and seek with ourselves and forget and have the experience of disconnect and individuation because I believe we are one with all that is, and that we are in the third dimension realm of illusion where we feel disconnected from all. It's like the existential human crisis. You know, we come in and we are in skin, and I end here and you are over there, right? But in reality, we are all the same thing. We're all one, pretending to be individuated so I can have a deep longing for connection to ultimately love. And, you know, if I'm born into a family where as a young person I don't perceive I'm fully connected in unconditional love, and if I live in a society where the dominant system thrives off of me feeling disconnected, and further perpetuates that, it's very confusing. It's very challenging to be a human in these conditions. And on that note, you know, the topic of suicide has been really up lately in my world, in relation to people that I really love. Young people. And it just breaks my heart into a billion pieces to think that we as humans can feel that level of disconnect and pain and separation and hopelessness to the point where we want to just be like, fucking peace out, I'm out. And so all I want to do is help people come back to love. And so I'm circling back to what I was trying to say a couple minutes ago. I do believe that this planet is the training ground of feeling disconnect to discover love again. I think that that's the point of being on the planet, is to have the experience of unconditional love. And when we are seeking it externally in a world of duality, we're always going to be left a little empty-handed. So, where do we discover the unconditional love and the truth? It's inside. It's what we are. We don't even have to fucking find it. We are that. It's only one thing that we have to do, is just remember it. And so we start to have context that we are in the realm of illusion. We are in the realm of duality on purpose, to have the experience of disconnect, to have the awakening in the body. What's up, Robin? It's a challenge and at times so empty. I can relate. Yep. At times it feels so fucking empty and hollow, and when we feel that, we are in the space of the vibration of disconnect and fear. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that is not our true nature. That's when we are identifying with this realm feeling so real, you know, that we are riding that frequency and vibration. And so we bring the consciousness back in, because that hollow and empty feeling is so intense, and it can feel so real and so consuming. It can fucking annihilate us. It can end our human experience if we take it all the way through. And it's easy to loop in that darkness. I know. I can say it from firsthand experience. My most recent experience with all of that, going through cancer treatments and going and seeing my specialists, and having every specialist I see telling me I'm severely depressed. And I'm like, who wouldn't be in this situation? Like, to go through that, the traumas that I went through all stacked, and then the barbarism of Western medical treatment, and, you know, the PTSD that and the trauma and the worst case scenarios that loop endlessly in the head. It's like, I don't know, I've been having this thought a lot lately, like, am I depressed? Or is this world, this society that I'm living in depressing? You know? And I think that we need to, before we diagnose ourselves with all these things, what I'm trying to do is get some spaciousness and go, maybe I'm not depressed. Maybe I'm experiencing massive waves of depressive energy rolling through. And I'm getting a little spaciousness then, you know? And a little spaciousness with the energy, because if I'm riding the roller coaster of the ups and downs and the fucking all that, it's crazy. It's crazy making. So what I'm working on doing is coming into the center and being a witness of my human experience, getting a little spaciousness. And so, like I was saying in the very beginning, I'm practicing showing up when I'm going into the disconnect that's further feeding the loop of I'm disconnected from all that is. I'm not there. That's only an illusion. The truth is I'm always connected to all that is at all times. And that whenever I'm feeling unloved or disconnected or sad, I can dial it all the way back and go, I am actually that I'm longing for. So, yeah, on this idea of, am I depressed, or is the world a depressing place to be? The society, not the world, because I think that Mother Earth is a fucking dope-ass place to be. And I think if the dominant system was not upon her, dude, we'd be living on a imagine. If patriarchy was not upon us, we would be living on a garden paradise right now. Interwoven in community, interdependent in community, in symbiosis with the earth, living simply, enjoying the elements, enjoying our bodies, not rushing here and there, not checking our bank accounts to see if we have enough money to pay the rent this month, not clocking into jobs that are fucking meaningless to us, that make us feel miserable. Imagine that. So last night I did this little thing, because this is part of a practice that we are going to do in this workshop next weekend. I kind of adapted it to just something that I wanted to do last night, where I started writing down free flow in my journal, all of the things that I learned by being born and raised in a capitalistic, materialism society. And I just had pages in my journal. I was just going and going and going and going, and pretty mind blown by identifying the values of capitalism and what is inferred by the values, and the damage done by being born and raised in a capitalistic system. That the value is not on the quality of wholeness of human life. The value is monetizing life. And everything comes down to dollars, right? And in this system, it's not set up for everyone to thrive. In a capitalistic system, it is designed intentionally for very few to thrive financially, and the rest to be on survival and struggle and reaching endlessly outward. We are entrained to think that we'll fill up the empty holes of our existence by reaching outside of ourselves for that thing, So whether it's food, I've been looking a lot at my food addictions lately and being real fucking honest with myself. An addiction to scrolling on social media because I'm sober. I don't get fucked up anymore to numb out. I don't have go-tos like that. Like, I don't drink and smoke or take drugs or anything or use substances to check the fuck out anymore. I don't. I chose not to many years ago. So now I get to see what my emotional buffers are. Food, social media, my phone. I've pared them way down, but when I'm really honest with myself, I'm like, yo, you still have fucking emotional buffers, dude. Because, I think it might take being a saint to be able to be like, don't need emotional buffers, and I exist within the patriarchal paradigm, and I'm present to all my fucking feelings, all my uncomfortable feelings at all times. Like, that's like ascended mastery. So I'm just honest and I'm compassionate with myself because I'm like, dude, I still have emotional buffers. I still have my go-tos to check all the way out like this. And, something like food is under the radar. Something like social media is under the radar. And socially accepted. So they're a little more confusing to navigate. And they're, accessible at all times. So I'm just really working on noticing when I have the trigger and I want the go-to, and like it's like my consciousness is hijacked by discomfort, and so like some part of me that can't handle the pain is just like, check out, and it's like it can happen in a moment before I even realize what happened. I'm like, what did I just do? So yeah, more and more I'm working on bringing my consciousness online and getting my body clear, getting my mind clear, being present to my emotional body, holding space for all the uncomfortable things that I feel and experience. And I want to do it more and more in a way that honors my whole being and is compassionate towards myself, but is also honest. So I'm working on devotion, commitment, discipline, mindfulness. And so a big game changer for me is waking up in the morning. First thing I do is I go into gratitude. My eyes open, I'm like, my eyes open today. Thank you. And I just go all the way into how many things I can be grateful for. I just follow the thread. And then this is a big game changer. I don't go on my phone. I walk to my altar and I light my candle. I read my life declaration that I wrote out loud. I greet my ancestors, my spirit guides, my highest, wisest self. I say some prayers. I bless those that have passed recently, lift up their spirit. I usually pull a card from my Sacred Rebels deck because I love that deck. Put on some hot water to make some tea, and I go right into my breath work. Conscious breath work. I start the day like that. When my breath work is done, then I get up and I have a movement flow that I do in front of my altar. And I activate the wild animal in me. And I'm devoted to more and more activating my wild animal self. Not the domesticated self, the wild self that gives less and less fucks what other people fucking think of me. Because in all reality, you guys think that I'm like transparent and vulnerable, and I'm working more and more on doing that, but I'm still so caught up in what people think of me. And that's the recovering codependent in me, and that's the recovering people pleaser in me. That's the recovering child in me that had to mutate, be mutable, and adapt, and, what can I do for them to love me? I carry that through, and I'm 44. I'm still working on that. So in all actuality, I still so care what people think. And there's a beautiful part of that. It's not totally, that's not a bad thing. Because I want to be interrelated and I want to be communal and connected in community. It does matter what people think, but it can't define my value and my worth. I can't hinge my existence on whether everybody fucking likes me or not. So showing up in the social media space more and more does force me to be like, dude, this is who I am right now. They might not like how my hair looks today, or the wrinkles on my face, or whatever. I dance, I video it, I post it. The trained dancer in me is so scared that you're gonna think that I don't dance great. And so I use dance practice and my morning practice to be like, I'm just gonna act like a fool right now. I'm getting more and more brave by showing you the fool on social media. I still have so far to go. So many times, like, I go into this, it's the construct of capitalism that I adopted as truth, that I have to be perfect for you to love me. I have to look and act and be a specific way for you to fucking love me. That's capitalism at work on me, right there. Fuck that. And so it is my practice to continue to attempt to show up in the space and be as real as I can in the moment. And I know I'm like an onion and I'm peeling layers every fucking day, okay? So I do my wild practice at the altar. Then, I sip my tea because it's so good. I love it. And then I go take a 10-minute cold shower. And it's funny because every day I can come up with a bunch of great reasons why today's not a good day to take the cold shower. Because it's not like my entrained mind that just seeks comfort constantly, that part of me that was born and raised in a world that it's all about creature comforts, and staying in the comfort zone and staying numbed out and checked out and not feeling discomfort. That part of me is like, yeah, today I shouldn't take the cold shower because, I have a reason. And it sounds great. And then I'll be like, you know what? Put on some good jams or not. Go to the water. I turn on the water to cold and I bow to it as my teacher. And I bring back my consciousness to why I'm doing this. I am practicing daily to put myself in uncomfortable situations because I am committed to growth and stepping outside my comfort zone and benefiting from the experience of discomfort. And I know enough now, I've been doing this cold shower since January every day. Then when I'm in, after about a minute, it feels fucking great. And when I'm out, after 10 minutes, I'm fucking stoked. It's the initial getting in. It's really uncomfortable. So I bow, I get in, and I dance right up like a fool to the water, and I just dunk my head, and I get the water all over me. And then I notice my body, within a minute, the water feels warm. My body's so intelligent. It knows how to manage that. And then I dance around like a fool and I make my tones because I'm practicing activating my voice. After a lifetime of stifled voice, I'm activating it. And the cold shower helps me. It brings in the animal in me, the wild me. And it brings in my consciousness. And cold showers have the same effect on the brain as antidepressants. So anybody who is working with depressive energy, cold shower has those same benefits of antidepressants where you have a blast of euphoria. It's a game changer. It's a day changer. And I like to start the day with my morning devotions, because my morning devotions are a blueprint for how the rest of my day goes. If I wake up late, or if I wake up and I'm just so freaking down that I can't get out of bed, because that happens sometimes, I notice that my day is in disarray. It's just kind of clunky. But when I wake up and I have enough time and space for my morning devotions, it's an imprint on how the rest of my day is going to go. And I tend to make better choices that honor my wholeness based on that. And because I do facilitating and coaching and consultations for other people, it benefits them too. It's not just for me, but it's like I need to consciously remember why I'm in this body and who I'm here, what I'm here to serve, love, and that I am an emanation and a transmission. And so I need to do the practices that help me with that. I make better eating choices through the day. When I start with the blueprint, I tend to, hydrate wiser and just get into nature for nature therapy more when I keep myself on track. And I realize I'm way too lenient sometimes with myself, where I come up with great excuses why to not do what I know is best for me. So I'm really right now working on the food addictions, the social media addictions. And I have some health things that I'm managing, like some gnarly ass health things, and I'm feeling like the time is coming for me where I actually need to do a pretty deep dive, to go in and do some healing on a deep cellular level. And so I feel like right now I'm gearing to take a very deep dive. That I'm going to probably come in and share when I'm going to make that transition. And, basically I'm going to continue to surrender my heart to love. I'm going to continue in the practice of opening my heart when it wants to slam the door shut and put locks and cement and concrete and walls and barbed wire. I'm going to continue to practice heart openers. All I want to do is blast my heart open. All I want to do is be a transmission of love. All I want to do is love myself so that I can truly love others and love this earth, and be of service. That's all I want to be. And so the conundrum for me is and I'm a single mom that has rent to pay, That's a hard one for me. It's hard to be complicit in capitalism when I don't believe in the system, when I know what it was designed for. I don't want to be complicit in it. And yet I was born and raised in this. And the reality is I have bills to pay. And so I keep asking Source, please use me, and if you could show me how to have enough money to pay my bills, that's for me the magical combo. While I'm still complicit in the system, I'm still beholden to money. I need to figure out how to do the dance of all of this and help others do this as well. To be awakened in these human body temples and to do the work and to thrive in a system that wants us only on survival mode. I see some comments came through. I'm going to scroll back for a sec. Yeah, I know depression is a weird word, right? Being the witness to your human experience. Pisces, sis, what's up, Liz? Are you still here, Liz? Dude, it's hard for Pisces, yo. It's hard for people, highly sensitive people on this planet. It's hard for people who want to feel. This planet, the dominant system in the planet is set up to have us check out, numb out, not be critical thinkers, not be sensitive beings. It's easier for the dominant system when we're all just fucking zombies in step and trying to fucking chase the carrot. You know what I mean? And it's harder for us. It's harder for us if you want to be the deeply sensitive soul that you actually are. If you want to be embodied and not disassociated, it is hard. We want to check out because it is a hard reality to live in this world right now. And it's hard when you love your humanity, brothers and sisters, and, you know, non-gendered people, and animals and plants. And, like, it's hard when you know that there are so many people who are suffering because of the dominant system, and, like, it's a lot. Yes, I will attempt to save this live. Sometimes Instagram lets me, sometimes it doesn't. The Namaster. Wow, Akamazi now. We have to... That there's what there is. I prefer feeling and caring and knowing that I chose to come here at this time to this culture. Yes. I'm gonna attempt to save this, y'all. I'm glad that you feel seen, Nicole Christine. I'm glad you're trying cold showers. You've done it 3 times and gotten to coldish for 15 seconds. Yeah, so my first cold shower, I lasted about 10 seconds and I was miserable the whole time. So hang in there, keep going. The best way to do it is, like Wim Hof says, take the longest hot, amazing shower, and then at the very end, or actually, before you get to the doing it at the very end, do the intermittent. Turn it to cold for 10 seconds. Before you do it, though, this is the key. Tell yourself, okay, I'm about to go to cold. So you're preparing your body for a stressful situation in a contained, controlled environment. This actually helps those of us with PTSD or unresolved trauma resolve it, because we're setting up a stressful situation that's controlled, that is manageable. We put it to cold, we experience that, and then put it back to hot. You can do this to kind of like scaffold in. Eventually, what you'll do is just do cold at the end and say it's just 10 seconds. Here's a pro tip. I'm not a pro, I'm an amateur, but that word came out of my mouth. Once you get past like 30 seconds, your sensation changes, okay? It's not going to be this miserable, uncomfortable experience the entire time. I went from suffering for 10 seconds and hating every second of it. Once I started getting into the 30-second range, once I passed it, or about a minute, it changes. I kid you not. I'm at the point, after 6 months of doing this daily, where I only take cold. There is no hot involved. And for a person who was totally like, loved going to the ocean before, but was always too cold in the Pacific Ocean in San Diego, and I'd always be like, oh guys, too cold. Now I go and I'm like, it's cold, but I just do it and my body adapts. It's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. Yay, Nicole, you did it for PTSD. Nice. It does help. The breath work helps for PTSD as well. The conscious breath work. The Namaster. I do that type of cold shower for 10 to 15 seconds. Are you doing... Yeah, I do his conscious breath work every morning. That's what I do. Sometimes I'll do it during the day. Not often. But if I'm... Lately my practice in the evening is I just lay right here on the floor of my bedroom and do some gentle stretches, and my body now will spontaneously go into conscious breath work. Here's one thing for people who struggle with meditation. This is pretty dope. The conscious breath work in Wim Hof method is, for me, has been the best way for me to access meditation so far. I'm that kind of person who has the mind that spins like the monkey mind, and meditating has always been like, something that I've avoided because, it's frustrating when you're like, dude, my mind's just spinning incessantly and it won't shut up. The conscious breath work, it's simple, and after every round, you go into retaining the exhale. And this takes me right into a place of deep meditation because I'm doing literally the bare minimum of being human. I'm not even breathing. I took the final inhale, I exhale, I retain the exhale. So you're not even breathing anymore. And when you're not breathing, there's a stillness that just occurs. You don't have to try, it just occurs. And the conscious breath work, when you do the style of breathing and you go into the breath retention, you can retain your exhale, no breath, for minutes. So you're experiencing a sustained inner peace. You're tapping into your natural state, and you're like, whoa, this is my true natural state. You can feel your body temple vibrating and pulsating with life. You can feel your heartbeat. And what I like to do if I notice some thoughts rolling through, I just choose a word or a couple words like deep peace. And I let that word reverberate through my body temple. Or I'll just say, I'm healthy, I'm happy, I'm strong. My life urge beams like the sun. These type of things I'll hear inside of me while I'm in the retention of the exhale. Lynn the Olina, the cold showers make me feel alive too. Every time I don't want to do them, then I do them, and I come out and I'm like, God, without fail, every time I'm like, I'm so glad I did that. I'm stoked on life after I do it. And that's a big deal for somebody who, there's shit on my plate. For me to feel stoked on life is massive. And so I highly recommend these free things. Nature therapy, cold water therapy, breathing, gratitude. Oh, it's telling me I only have 2 minutes left. So, anyways, if you're in the San Diego area, I would love to just invite you to Dancing the Deconstruction. It's the 15th of June from 4 to 7 p.m. The link is in my bio if you want tickets. We are extending the invitation for early bird discount an extra day today. So if you're seeing this, you can do that. We're also inviting people who are financially abundant to pay it forward and pay for tickets, sponsored tickets for single moms and Black or Indigenous or people of color who are experiencing financial hardship. All genders are welcome, all abilities are welcome. It's a 3-hour community workshop experience. We're just going to hold space and be fucking real together. And we're going to move our bodies. And it's going to be a brave space. And we're going to just drop into the magic of just simply being alive and human on the planet in this moment. They're about to cut me off. Let's see. Sunday church sesh. That's another thing I was thinking. I would love to continue to have these sessions. I was thinking about doing them on the beach here. Or maybe I'll do them here live if you guys want this. If it's helpful for you. It helps me to tap into the frequency of what I want to be beaming at. I like to dial into people who help me access and beam and transmit the energy that I want to be on the earth. 15 seconds left. Yeah, Kim, that's where I met you, right? Peace out, Pisces rising, Scorpio sun. Let the water flow through you and to you. You are infinite love and blessings. Peace.